Well, after an unexpected weekend off, is that a bonus in some ways? I guess it gives a few players a bit more time to heal.
No, not really. We wanted to keep the momentum going. The club done everything they could to try and get the game on, so it was disappointing to know all the work that went behind the scenes, which goes unnoticed. But it was nice to see that there was a group of people that turned up to make the game as close as what it could be to happening. I mean, we trained after, and thankfully the referee made the right decision, because it was a hurricane, and so yeah, it was the right decision. But we were disappointed as a club because we got a real good momentum going, and now obviously we've had to build up to the next game.
Does that sort of chuck a spanner in your plans for this week? I guess you have to sort of look at that again.
No, not at all really. Just gives you more ground contact time on the training pitch. So there's one or two key areas that we wanted to work on, and we've been able to do that.
Yeah, and I guess the hope is you see a little bit of that on Saturday now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've gone away from our strategy at the moment. I think if you keep changing your strategy, you don't have one. So we've been quite religious in what we're trying to achieve at the football club, and luckily enough, results have followed that. So it's a good environment to be in at the moment.
For the game last Saturday, there was some players' suspension and injury that were due to come back. I assume that's still the case for this weekend.
We just make sure that we pick the right team to go and win the game, and so far it's going okay. We got to keep it going, and I keep mentioning those words, complacency, and I'm not going to have it as a manager. And the reason why, because the consequences, if you do get complacency, are massive, and they've worked really hard to get in the position they've been in, and I don't want them to lose that.
So have you seen any signs at all of that, or is it something you try and stop before it even gets started almost?
I just think it's human nature. Everyone becomes complacent. It's just the way it is. My missus can get complacent every now and again, but I'm too scared to tell her.
I was going to say, I'm glad that's you saying, not me. and I guess, so does that just manifest itself? You just absolutely at them all the time?
No, I just think it's the way I am, and I think it's the way they want me to be. I use three things as a manager. Can I make them win? Can I make them better footballers? And am I loyal? So far I've ticked all those three boxes, and I think they've respected that.
And I guess the situation you're in, obviously a lot better than it looked a few weeks ago, but that's the threat that's always hanging over your heads until you can get yourself a bit further at that table.
I think so far it's been a fantastic achievement. When I took over the job, we was on 11 points, rock bottom, and it didn't look good. And they've put in a massive effort to get us to where we are. We know it's not finished yet, and it's going to go on and on and on till the end of the season. There's going to be a lot of emotions that are involved in that, but it's important I make sure I direct and steer them in the right way.
And in terms of selection, so Darren's available, Alex back and available.
Yeah. So it's good. It's healthy. But don't forget, the boys that have been playing have been on a fantastic run. So every player in my team at the moment's got earned the right to play.
Well, it's a good position for you to be in, though, isn't it? To have those kind of players available and say, well, actually, this lot have been doing pretty well when you haven't been there.
I think I keep saying it's important. When Darren went down, which is a club captain who's a fantastic player, he's a fantastic leader, someone had to shoulder that responsibility, and Alex Lacey did against Carlisle. Unfortunately, he got sent off, so he's got to take a back seat now. Then Nathan Smith steps in, and he steps up to the plate. So, I'm very, very grateful as a manager what these players are doing and what they're achieving. To keep this club in the league, and that's the main objective.
Okay, well the loan window's open up again now. Is it anything imminent? You're looking at any new additions, any going out?
We're always looking, always on the look, and always looking to improve the squad. But it makes it difficult, when the squad that I've got as it stands at the moment are giving everything to the cause. And I keep saying one of them is being loyal as well, making sure I make the right decision at the right time. So, I'm thankful for that squad.
Okay. One of the trips that I suppose nobody ever really looks forward to however many hours on a bus it is up to Hartlepool. Is that something you've got to try and embrace, and not worry about that kind of thing?
Nah, not at all. Again, it's another challenge. Preparation can slightly change, but it's important they got the same thoughtful process of winning football matches, and how you do that is no different than what you do every other game. So we make sure our preparation's spot on.
I mean, players will have their own different ways of passing the time. What do you do as a manager when you've got all those hours on the bus?
Just make sure the players have got no excuses. They're their own personalities. They're all individuals. Every one of them, you treat different. And so far as it stands at the moment, they've given me no reason to suggest concern travelling to Hartlepool.
Okay, so Hartlepool as a team, I mean, one of those sides that, on the face of it, this is another one of those big games at the bottom of the table.
They're all big games. Every game's been a big game. Yeah. Nothing changes.
Does it know different when you're playing a team that's around you?
No. Every game's, keep talking about it, performance. You get performance, you win football matches. So that's what we've got to focus on.
But as a player, you must have, when you get involved in games at the top and bottom of the table, you must know there's something a bit extra than if you've got some mid-table end of the season, nothing happening on it.
I think it is if you have that thought process. But what we've tried to do is we've tried to make sure we focus on our performance. And if you concentrate on that rather than deal with the pressure of who you're up against, you can have different outcomes. And we're trying to think a little bit different.
Okay, so Hartlepool as a team, what have you made of them recently?
I mean, they've just got rid of their manager, so what that suggests that they've obviously not been doing particularly well. They've still got good players, and you normally get a reaction, and I've got to make sure that my team's ready for that reaction.
I guess especially away from home, so that the fans would have been a bit disgruntled, and then a change can just give them that little lift, can't it?
Yeah, it can. The supporters and the team. Different ideas, and obviously he's got to get those ideas across straight away, and I'm sure he'll have to change it. So we'll be waiting for that.
Thank you very much.
Liam Walsh, you're keeping him on for another month. What was the thinking behind that?
One, I think he's a good player. Two, I think he's made a great impact on the football club as a whole, and he shows a tenacity about him of what it takes to keep this club in the Football League, and I think players look up to that.
And do you think if he does say well here, that might encourage other people to come from Lane, from some of the big clubs, to try their luck in Yeovil?
I think Yeovil's always been a club that people have been comfortable sending their players, and the history speaks for itself with the amount of players that have come and gone. I'm trying to do it now as a manager, that I'll get other managers believe in what I do, and so far certainly with Liam there's a lot of trust between manager to manager and club to club, and it certainly helps a club like Yeovil, but I also have to make sure I give them quality, and I think so far with Liam it's worked on both sides.
Cool, thank you.
On the subject of Walsh, Darren, obviously he came highly recommended, David Unsworth and Roberto Martinez, but even you were surprised by how much of an impact he's had on the team?
I think everyone really, someone for 18 years of age has shouldered the responsibility like he has. He's been at Everton since he was 5 years of age, and moving into Yeovil when you've been at a Premier League club can be a shock. I think when he's crossed that white line, he's looked very, very strong. His personality can look sometimes a little shy, which you expect for someone as young as what he is. But he's carried his responsibility like a man, and credit to him. And credit goes to Everton for certainly bringing their players up in that way and letting us take that responsibility.
And he's a small guy, but he certainly puts himself around on the pitch, and I've heard a few people compare him to yourself in your playing style. Do you see a bit of yourself in him?
Yeah, I mean, I'm finished now. Finished. I don't like talking about it as a player now. If only it was that easy. But no, he's a good player, and for it to be one of my first signings, I had to make sure it was right. There was one or two people that I spoke to that I trusted. And obviously when I seen him, it was, you're right, the same sort of attributes that I look for as a midfielder. Having said that, there's still other players around that have got those attributes that I look for, and obviously with Simon Gillett coming back now. So yeah, you start to build a team in every position. You think a little bit differently, and we all don't think the same. Everyone's got their own views, their own personalities, but what I can say, I think I got this one right.